That's it, the white-handed gibbon, Chris, the white-handed monkey. That's what I saw down there at Point Defiance Sunday on Mother's Day. Oh, man, just holding court down there. Is this pretty much what I saw? Wait, I just shut up for a second. You hear that?
Yeah.
That was going on.
Is this your own video?
For hours. This is just a video of the gibbon on display. But there, see, the songs average last an average of 11 minutes. Chris, I was down there for 15, mesmerized by the white-handed monkey.
Hey, kids.
Thank you for showing that and educating not only Chris but maybe some of our viewers as well. So,
kids, is that Paul Sylvan over there? He's really enjoying the monkeys.
It was, all right, and now it's time to bring in Dave Softy Mahler of KJR Sports Radio. I can hardly wait to hear what you have to say. By the way, you can listen to Dave throughout the week, 3 to 6:30 weekday afternoons. Softy, thanks for coming on.
So let me get this straight. We're starting the Monday show off with female monkeys and Egan's Sounder ride. Is that correct? Is that what we're dealing with here on this Monday? This is what happens when the M's lose 2 out of 3 to the White Sox, boys and girls. All right, this is how much influence the Mariners have on shows like this. When that train goes off the rails, this entire show goes over a cliff. And you guys talked about female monkeys and Egan's Sounder trip and his track afternoon for 5 or 6 minutes. I mean, somebody's tuning into this show on a Monday, and they're yelling at the TV, "Talk sports, you clowns." That's why I'm tuning in. That's why I'm here. Remember back in the day when people would throw bricks at their TV at Howard Cosell? I can imagine somebody doing that with you guys talking about monkeys and Egan Sounder ride. Chris, let me ask you a question. What was longer, the experience you spent at the track event over the weekend or the actual Sounder ride from Puyallup to Seattle this morning?
1 hour commute this morning, Softy. 1 hour commute.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, Paul, you mentioned it. There's somebody on that train, looks over and sees Chris Egan on the Sounder train thinking, God, how much are those bozos getting paid over there, for God's sakes? This guy's taking public transit like me. I'm going to my job at the IHOP, and he's going on TV. What's going on over here, man? So, hey, good for you for hanging out with the Pilgrims, Egan. We appreciate that.
I did. There was a large piece of hair in one of the seats in front of me, and I didn't know what to do with that.
That was Sylvie's from the night before, by the way.
Hey, since we told you what we had going on Mother's Day weekend, give us a quick snapshot of what you did.
I got to be honest with you, so if the worst thing you're seeing is a large piece of hair, you might be doing okay, to be totally honest with you. I took Mom to Duke's. We went to brunch at Duke's. Thanks for asking, Paul. I really appreciate that. Had a nice crab sandwich. Mom had the veggie omelet with the salmon. A couple of Bloody Marys for myself, of course. I'll admit that, because when you're hanging out with the in-laws and the sister-in-law and the mom, you need a little help to get through the morning, and I did that with a couple of Bloody Marys from Duke's. We're talking the big ones that come with the prawns and the olives, the whole thing, man. So
nice.
Had a great time at Duke's Seafood in Kent, man, for Mother's Day. But happy Mother's Day, belated Mother's Day to all the moms out there. We were talking off the air about my wife. We got 3 dogs, no kids. So apparently being a dog mom is enough to celebrate Mother's Day. Dogs and cats, I think we all agree, count. But what about like lizards and gerbils and chickens and hamsters and goldfish and spiders and things like that? We're just talking dogs and cats. That's it.
Dogs, cats, but, you know, maybe you're on a farm, you got some pigs or something like that. But yeah, I go dogs.
Yeah, if you're on a farm, that's a different deal, Chris. That's a lot of Mother's Day wishes for sure. Because
I am coming out of Puyallup, everyone.
All right, can
my
we talk
wife is from Puyallup. You guys know that. My wife went to Puyallup High School.
I know she
so
did.
I get it, man.
Viking.
Yeah. Well, my ex-wife went to Rogers, so I hit them both.
Listen, I better move this along. Cal, let's talk some Mariners there. Cal remains a hot topic for his cold bat. He's hitting 161, hasn't had a hit since a home run back on April 26th. Softy, I'll just say go.
Yeah, I had a guy on Twitter last night called Cal Raleigh. Instead of the big dumper, he was the big slumper. 0 for his last 32. And you guys mentioned it, man, 15 Ks going back. And I thought to myself, actually, this morning when I woke up, does Cal Raleigh's slump coincide with the start of this TV show? because I thought there was a good chance that maybe it did. But you're lucky because you guys took the air about a week or so before Cal Raleigh went into his funk. So for as much as I'd love to blame you two guys, I can't do it, man. Yeah, I mean, look, right now he's in a terrible slump, but I just think we're kind of way overthinking this. You know, kudos to Dan Wilson, I guess, yesterday for moving him out of the 2-hole for the first time all year. They made that move a year ago. It was kind of controversial in some ways. How can you take a guy out of the cleanup spot who's been bombing the ball the way he is? But it actually worked out, right? You know, the Mariners won a lot of games with Cal Raleigh in the 2-hole a year ago. So when it's not working, then you make a change. So I appreciate the Mariners at least being a little bit flexible, but, you know, people are suggesting dropping him to 6th or 7th in the order, that's crazy talk. That is absolutely asinine, guys. We're talking about a bad couple of weeks for Cal Raleigh. It happens to everybody and every superstar. Now, if we're sitting here in a month from now and we're going a month and a half, 6 weeks, and Cal Raleigh can't hit water, if he falls out of a canoe, then we got a problem. But I think for right now, we just got to look at this. Chris and Paul is just a great player who's in a terrible slump, and that's it. That's all.
Okay, Softy, that's been hot topic number 1 with the Mariners. Number 2, seems like we've been talking about this for the last 3 weeks, and Bryce Miller will be returning. Where do you see this going, you know, after this week?
Yeah. I think the 6-man rotation is a good idea for today, but it's not going to be a good idea for tomorrow, man. I mean, I'm not willing. I don't know about you, Paul and Chris, but I'm not willing to wait an extra day to see Brian Wu or Logan Gilbert or George Kirby on the mound. I'm just not. These guys are too good to make them wait an extra day to make a start. So this is because of the schedule, as Dan Wilson talked about the other day, because of the current situation, the current format, what's going on with the off days, all that. It's okay for today, but this is not going to work for tomorrow. So at some point, Luis Castillo is going to have to prove that he deserves a spot in this rotation, right? I mean, this is really what this is. Let's face it, this next week and a half, couple weeks, and maybe the next start for Luis, maybe 2 more starts for Luis Castillo. I think you look at him as tryouts, man, for Luis Castillo. I mean, look, it's just not working, fellas, right? You know, we talk about maybe he's got some bad luck. His velocity's okay, but maybe he's just, you know, kind of, you know, walking into some unfavorable situations. No, dude, he's got a really, really hard time right now. His batting average on balls in play, which is taking out home runs and strikeouts, is .368 on the year, okay? He was at 286 a year ago. That's almost 100 points higher than where it was last season. He's getting smashed to death. He's getting beaten like a piñata. The guy's put 61 runners on in his last 32 and a third innings. So this has got to stop, guys. It's just got to. And I believe in the next week and a half, we're going to have some kind of answer to this conundrum. Either somebody else goes to the bullpen, somebody else goes to AAA Tacoma, somebody gets traded, Luis Castillo no longer in the rotation. We're going to have an answer to this problem in the next week and a half, because I don't care if you have a 9-man rotation. You can't keep trotting out Luis Castillo like this, because the Mariners are simply put losing every game he starts, and that can't continue.
Well, I like your thought, the fact that this is a 13-game stretch for the Mariners, and they're early in this stretch, and the 6-man rotation does work right now. But I believe it's going to be some kind of a mental shift for Castillo when he goes out to that bullpen. And, you know, the Mariners are paying this guy $24 million this year and next year, so he's making plenty of dough, and they're on the hook for that next year as well, because all the contracts in baseball are guaranteed. So when you put Castillo back in there, you know, it's almost like, you know, he's a veteran, Dave. You know he's gonna reset and figure, this is the way I get to the finish line. You know, like the Smoltz deal when the Braves years ago put him in the bullpen, and he came out and just added years to his career. This could be a good thing for Castillo.
It could be a great thing for Castillo, and it could be a great thing for the Mariners, too. I mean, let's face it. One thing they've had a problem with, guys, as you know, is their bullpen depth this year, whether because of injuries or guys not performing well. So to be able to add an arm like Luis Castillo to your bullpen, it could be a phenomenal thing for this baseball team. I just don't know how he's going to perform, Paul, in that position, because he's never done it in his career, right? I mean, look, John Smoltz was a closer. This guy came in throwing, you know, obviously gas and was unbelievable for Atlanta. We're talking about Luis Castillo being a setup guy. He's not going to bump Andres Munoz. He's not going to bump a guy like a Matt Brash or even maybe a Jose Ferrer as the third option for being your closer right now. So I'm really curious to see how it goes, but you're exactly right that this could be a boon for them to have a talent and a name like that to add to your bullpen. It also could be an absolute disaster, and his career could be over. And you mentioned, next year, there's also a vesting option for 2028 that right now seems pretty easy for Luis Castillo to get. So they owe him about $50 million total, Paul, after this season. So they got to figure it out, or maybe think about doing a Robbie Cano and having to pay a bunch of his salary to ship him out of here eventually.
All right, from uncertainty, and you even mentioned the name Robbie Cano, to something that for me has just been a joy to watch, Cole Young. Watching him make that play at second base over the weekend, what he's doing in the clutch this year. I mean, Softy, we're watching a rising star right in front of us, aren't we, right now with Cole Young?
Yeah, I mean, we're watching a guy that has won the second base job for the next probably decade, right? I mean, that's what you're hoping with Cole Young. I realize a decade's a long time, but we're talking about a guy who has settled down that position. Remember all the names, all the guys that we were cycling through second base in the last maybe 3 or 4 years, some of the random nobodies that were playing second base, the bums that were playing second base for this baseball team, and now it really does feel like Cole Young has settled that down. I think he's showing the rest of this team, honestly, Chris, how to play defense, because I'm looking at the guy to his right and J.P. Crawford, and I see a disaster. I'm looking at the guy behind J.P. Crawford to his right in left field, and I see a disaster. You saw the throw that Randy Arozarena tried to make on a routine short fly ball to home plate yesterday. He almost hit the freaking press box, for God's sakes, at that stadium yesterday. So this has got to stop, man. This horrible defense that this baseball team keeps trotting out there every single game has just got to stop. They're just not that good, and it's almost like they've ignored it, right? We've gone out and looked at other things, pitching, relief, offense, obviously, are all great. People think of defense kind of like fourth on that list of the 4 most important things for a baseball team, and it's almost like Jerry DiPoto and Justin Hollander have made it like 9th on their list because the team is awful defensively, just terrible defensively. So I'm glad that we have at least a little bit of a shining light at second base to outshine all the other turds on this baseball team that are just brutal with the glove. Terrible.
I'm glad you brought up Arozarena because he caught that ball on the run, almost behind the shortstop. It felt it was so shallow in left field. And when he launched it, the third base coach for the White Sox is like, yeah, tag up on this. Tag up on this. We talk about the scouting and the studying that goes on with opponents. They obviously knew Arozarena is not accurate with his throws, and they said, go ahead and go. He's like, right in shallow left field. Go ahead and go. The fans had to go, you're crazy. You're sending him on this pop-up? And obviously they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, it's got to become almost like a mental block for him right now, right? That he knows that even on barely infield fly balls to left field that, people are going to try to go on him and tag up. And it's got to be in his brain a little bit, man. I don't know. I mean, you saw how PO'd he was when he made that throw. He's on the ground. I mean, did he fall over? I think he fell over on that throw. I'm not kidding. Go back and watch that video. I think he may have fallen over.
We all fell over when he made the throw.
Yeah, and then he's on the ground and he's slamming the grass because he's angry about the terrible throw that he made. I mean, look, the problem is right now, guys, is you got a couple of dudes on this baseball team that are probably better off playing DH, and J.P. Crawford and Randy Arozarena are 2 of them.